All right, mic's muted. Let me get the speech chat turned on. All right, there we go. Let's move this over to the side a little bit. How's it going, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR.
Ain't no stopping this train! Whoa!
The ageless, one of the man, Lincoln Clay. We are back for some Project Motor Racing, and honestly speaking, there's already more of you here than I thought would show up. Project Motor Racing just received a recent update.
Said, Lincoln, what's good, brother?
OG, what's good? How you doing? Earlier this week, Project Motor Racing received an update, and tell you the truth, I really didn't follow the update all that close. Here, let me get my headphones on. Well, I guess I really don't need them until it's time to jump on the track. But yeah, Project Motor Racing received an update this week, and I guess there was some stability fixes, and most notably, there was some updated changes to the physics of the hypercars. So from kind of what I've seen from a couple of streams here and there, it seems that the hypercars drive much better than they did when the game first launched. And honestly, I just didn't really drive the hypercars that much. So, honestly speaking, I'm pretty much going to be largely unaffected by this recent update. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that I say that from the standpoint of that I had minimal problems with Project Motor Racing to begin with. When the game was crashing on everybody, I had minimal crashes. I mean, I only had a handful of crashes. Network issues.
At Oak said, nah, it still needs a lot of work.
Still needs a lot of work. Well, I did try the hypercar. I did try the Cadillac a couple of days ago, but I tried it on my Logitech wheelbase that's in the bedroom. I haven't tried it on this wheelbase yet. So, I mean, yeah, I'll do a few laps, in the hypercar today, but since I barely remember how the hypercars drive, I really don't have much to go by as far as comparison. Damn, feels like I'm forgetting something. But yeah, a while ago when this game came out and they got trashed by a lot of the big influencers, and other influencers, most notably Jester, Boris, Mets VR, Chunky GT, myself, and a few others. I think Xbox One Kenobi.
At Oak said, LMDH is far from what LMU standards.
Honestly, that's still not much for me to go by because I haven't driven the hypercars that much at LMU. I mean, I love watching the real life races, and on LMU, I love watching the endurance races. But far as hypercars, far as driving them, I just don't do it that much. On LMU, I prefer the GTE, and the GT3s. And on this game, I prefer the GT3s, the GTEs, I think the GTs. And if I remember correctly, the GT1s. So I think it's cool that they added the hypercars in there. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, this game doesn't get enough credit for the amount of hypercars they have on here, because I went through all the racing games in my library. I went through all of them and counted how many hypercars each one has. And naturally, Le Mans Ultimate has the most.
Yeah, that's right. We're doing GT3 and LMU.
Yeah, absolutely. So LMU has the most hypercars because they have all the official hypercars in the WEC. I think the only hypercar that they don't have would be the Acura, and that's because it races at IMSA. Now, if the Acura, I kind of wish they would at least do the 24 hours of Le Mans. We see that with Cadillac. The two hypercars they got in IMSA, the yellow one and the red one, they race in IMSA, but they will participate in the 24 hours of Le Mans. So Cadillac has all three of their cars in the 24-hour of Le Mans. And so I would love to see that with the Acura, if they would bring that to the 24-hour of Le Mans. So to get back to what I was saying, LMU has the most hypercars with 12. And there's like 3 off hypercars, like the Glickenhaus, the SATA Franchitti or whatever that's called. I've forgotten. I think the Vauxhall or something like that. 3 weird off-branded cars. After that, there's the 9 major manufacturers. In the case of Project Motor Racing, it has 9 hypercars, and it has 8 of the major manufacturers. So the Ferrari is the only hypercar that's missing from this game. They have all the other hypercars. So that being said, I think they have the second most hypercars this in my library. I don't know how many hypercars. I'm talking current hypercars. I don't know how many hypercars iRacing has. But to my knowledge, yeah, current hypercars, Le Mans Ultimate has the most. And then this year for the 2027 season, we have Hyundai bringing the Genesis hypercar. And next year, McLaren will be entering a hypercar into the WEC, as well as Ford. They will be bringing a hypercar to the WEC. So, I mean, the endurance racing is definitely on the rise, and I'm loving every bit of it. So, honestly, almost kind of feel like adding the hypercars to Project Motor Racing might have been a last-minute decision, because I am of the impression that this game was going to be built on retro cars, the Group C cars, the GT, the GTs, GT1s, GTEs. But I'm under the impression that they probably saw that endurance racing was on the rise, so they probably had to make a quick move to throw in the GT3s and the hypercars. But I don't think it was a bad move, because I think Project Motor Racing has a very good lineup of hypercars and GT3s. I think when it comes to the GT3s, I think the only manufacturer that Project Motor Racing doesn't have is the Ferrari. I would like to think that, I'm hoping that that'll come somewhere down the line. Ian Bell made a post earlier this week, about the 1.6 update, and somebody made a comment that, yeah, we need more meat on the bone, and then he responded to that comment and said there's a lot more meat to come. So, content wise, we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'd like to see a few more tracks. As far as this game goes, the only track I'd like to see, the only track that's mandatory with me is 24-hour of Le Mans. After that, they can add whatever they want. Far as the cars goes,
at Vic H8X said, McLaren.
Vic, what's up? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. They are missing in the GT3s. They are missing the McLaren. I forgot about that. I thought it was Ferrari. So yeah, you're right. In the GT3s, they're missing.
At Oaksit said, the LMDH lineup in PMR is kinda worthless if the cars are broken.
You know what?
H8X.
Yeah, we're gonna jump in there
McLaren.
in a minute. Give me a second, folks. I got to go grab a paper because I recorded some numbers and I want to share those numbers with you. Hold on.
At Necrodogs said, woof woof. At Necrodogs said, hope everyone's doing well.
Woof woof. Necro Dogs, how's it going? So, let me go here to single player to show you guys race weekend. And let's grab that Porsche. But still, they got a good lineup of GT3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got GT3, 10 GT3s. So the only thing they're missing, I think, as far as current cars, would be the Ferrari 296 and the McLaren 720. But they did, offset it by having the Acura here. That's IMSA car. As well as I think a GT Fanatec GT World Challenge car.
At Necrodogs said, good vibes.
Same to you. So anyway, so I picked the Porsche. Now, this particular track car combo, the reason why I'm bringing this up is earlier today, Race Room did the 2.4 hours of Daytona. They tried to do it, I think, last week or the week before.
Said, also missing the Lexus.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they are missing the Lexus.
Said, check out the 12H Bathurst Endurance. It's on now and it's great.
Yeah, I was watching bits and pieces of that, and I saw an interview with a guy who hit a kangaroo. In fact, I think I seen a clip like during practice or something yesterday of a car that hit a kangaroo going up the mountain. So coming back to this track car combo, as I was saying earlier today, Race Room did the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. They tried to do it last week or a couple of weeks ago, and they had a server issue. The bottom line is, I think they had more people than anticipated enter this thing. I think they had almost 800 entries, and that's probably way more than they expected. And I think it caused some server issues. So they mentioned something about back end, or I can't really remember. But bottom line is they had to address the servers. And so they did it again today. I wanted to take part in it, but I couldn't because I had to pick my son up. But I did get a few practice laps in, and I said, you know what? While I'm at it, let me put my Race Room lap times against lap times on other racing games. So what I did was I jumped on a bunch of other racing games, Automobilista 2, Race Room, R Factor 2, GT7, Forza, and Project Motor Racing on my PC in there and my PS5. And I compared all the lap times on each format, although each one has caveats. So
At Necrodogs said, yeah, that was insane. New South Wales FTW.
But hey, I love, oh boy, I think it sounds like my mic might be kind of loud. But yeah, I love Bathurst. You know, circuit 24 Hour of Le Mans is my favorite track, but I think Bathurst probably comes third. So we got Circuit de la Sarthe, Monza, and then Bathurst. I think Bathurst is third. They might be tied with Kyalami, the South African track. So anyway, coming back to this Daytona combination. So what I wanted to do was I used the Porsche because I wanted to go to all my games that had the Daytona track, and all the games that I knew all had a common car, and all of them had this Porsche right here, the 992, with the exception of R Factor 2 because it's an older game. So I used the 911 GT3 versus this 992 GT3. And so starting with Race Room, because that's what made me do this whole thing anyway. I could have made a video out of it. It would have been, probably would have got me a fair amount of views, but I just did the laps and recorded the numbers for you guys. So starting with Race Room, I did some of them have caveats too, and I'll let you know about the caveats. But starting with Race Room, I did a 149.1, but the caveat there was that I had hard tires. So practicing for this event, hard tires was the only option. I couldn't choose any other compound. So I did a 149.1, and damn, I had to do like maybe 4 or 5 laps to get there. So after that, I'll save the fastest one for last, and you guys may not be surprised which one I had the fastest lap on, which game, but you might be surprised by the gap between my fastest lap and the second fastest lap. So after that, in no particular order, so I hopped on also, where applicable, I used soft tires on the rest of them. So Automobilista 2, I did a 146.944. And then on Project Motor Racing on the PS5, I did a 148.2. And then Project Motor Racing on my PC in there. I also did all these on my Logitech wheelbase. None of it was done on this wheelbase here. So Project Motor Racing on PC, I did 2 runs. I did a 149.3, and I'm like, nah, I got to be faster than that. So I did a second run and did a 148 flat there. R Factor 2, I did a 147.3. Forza, I did a 150.1, but on the caveats, Project Motor Racing on both PS5 and PC, no VR because I'm faster in VR. Same thing with Forza, no VR. I'm faster in VR, and I think out of all of them, honestly, this 992 on PC was the most unstable. Forza was the second most unstable. I did a 150.177 there, and then the fastest lap on GT7, I did a 143.5. That's quite the gap. Because after that, the second fastest lap that I did was on R Factor 2, did a Automobile Institute did a 146.944. So that was the second fastest lap. So I'll just, to make things easier, I'll call that a 147 versus the 143.5 that I did on GT7. So still 3.5 seconds faster than the second fastest time. That's absolutely insane. So let's unfortunately with this game, I'll back out and show you guys. This plays a part into one of the reasons why I haven't really played this game, or at least streamed it. I've still been doing laps here and there off of YouTube, but this is one of the reasons why I haven't really been streaming it. Let's see here. Oh, there's a custom lobby there. Let's see if this is Gesture, because I think he still might be live right now. Nope, but Oil Slick is in there. And this is let's see here, change vehicle. I normally use the Corvette, but I don't know, like I've seen Boris use the Corvette lately, and I've seen a few other people use the Corvette. So, I mean, the Corvette is my preferred car, but at least for this race, I'll change up a little bit and use the Porsche. Despite the struggles of this game, before I went live, there was absolutely nobody in the community lobbies and absolutely nobody registered for the rank races. And I'm like, man, this game has a really tough battle to fight. And I really do want to see this game recover or build up something. But regardless of the state of this game, I will still be putting in a lot of time when it gets the VR. I still think this game is fun. I think the sense of speed is still faster than this game. So everybody's pushing the host to get ready, and he's not moving. So he might be asleep at the wheel somewhere. He might as well, unless he's AFK and not paying attention, he might as well go ahead and start this thing, because honestly speaking, this game is a ghost town. There's not that many people playing it. So I don't see any point if he's trying to wait for the entire lobby to fill up. I don't know what would be the point of that. But if he doesn't fire this thing up in a couple of minutes, then yeah, I'll just back out and do a single player race and do a few laps with the hypercars and see how they feel. Everybody's ready except him.
At Necrodogs said, gotta go. Have to practice for my 8 Cap Nordsch Life Championship race on Monday.
Hey, good luck.
At Necrodogs said, take care and have fun, all.
Same to you. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. So yeah, this room holds 32 people. 32 people are not coming in here. So in my opinion, better to go ahead and start this race now while you've got 11 people before you lose them trying to wait for 32. Somebody's named Mud and Tar in here. Somebody's name Kicked Me. Yeah, I'll give him a couple of more minutes. If he doesn't start it, then yeah, I'm out of here. I do think they should add an in-game chat to Project Motor Racing for situations like this, because you can see people are flashing the ready button trying to tell this guy to go ahead and start the session. And so if he's trying to wait for the room to fill up, if there was an in-game chat, he could at least relay that to everybody and be like, yeah, I'll start in a few minutes. I'm just waiting for a few people to get in here. And then that way, at least the people that are already here will be patient and wait a few minutes. Yep. Now we're down to 9. So we already lost a few people, and down to 8. So yeah, I'm getting ready to set. Yep. There we go. It's time to go. Guys should have started it.
You got to deal with that a lot. As well, too.
Jeez. So let's see who we got here. Because Jester's still live. And if okay, this is Oil Slick. So he went off and started a room. So yeah, I'll stay here. So, I mean, since he left that room to start his own room, I would like to think that he's watching. And I'd like to think that once he gets enough people in here, or once enough people ready up, then he'll go ahead and start it. There's only one Corvette in here. Yeah, normally that's the car I use. Oh, Oil Slick. Okay, he readied up. Cool. So we going. So that's what I like. He's ready to go. He started it. And for the people that's sitting there, you know, sleep at the wheel, not ready. Nah, this train's taking off with or without you. So good play, Oil Slick. Also, I want to let everybody know that until Project Motor Racing gets VR, don't expect any spectacular lap times from me, because I'm faster in VR and it's my preferred way to race. So all right, let's do a few laps.
Clear the pits.
Wait a minute. Oh, we still got a problem. Oh, shit. It's still skipping gears. The downshift, oh shit. Downshift seems to be fine, but upshifting, you gotta flick it. Otherwise, look at that, it skipped all the way to 6th gear. I'll show you guys again coming around the corner. Look, it's gonna skip all the way to 6th gear. So you gotta flick the gears. Oh, and it still skipped to 6. Yeah, this gonna be a problem.
Full focus, full set.
Oh shit! I still don't like the way that, boy, that back end still comes loose.
Session's done. Check and flag this lap.
Oh, that back end just woof. Yeah, that back end was swinging around corners like it was on ice. I totally forgot about that. That's probably why I was driving the Corvette in the first place. So, yeah, we'll be coming back home to the Corvette next race. It would be a lot easier to deal with if I was in VR, because I would be able to see the car becoming unstable a lot quicker in VR.
Probably going to need to look at the setup between now and the race.
Yeah. No, I don't need to look at anything. Between how much the back end is sliding around and me not being in VR, my lap times are going to be dog shit. All right. Something else I think they should add to this game is a diagram of the car. So whenever you take on damage, you can see exactly where the damage is, instead of waiting for a message to flash across the top of the screen telling you that you got damage. Wonder what's up with that Corvette shaking in front of me. Let's go.
Keep focused.
Oh shit! A 15-second false start. What the hell? What the hell was that? Damn it! Oh my God. That skipping gears crap. Oh God. at the fastest first sector. Oh my, oh Christ! Skip straight into 6. Oh my God.
Halfway done.
Well, I took second, but that 15-second penalty is going to kill me. I'm probably going to fall to third. Yep, fell to third. So despite
As I told you, there's some fast guys.
the thing skipping gears on me and the course feeling unstable to begin with, it wasn't a half bad race. I will say that the car does not feel like that on my Logitech wheelbase, and it is not skipping gears either. So, but I'm choosing to be on this computer right here because I've got the camera out here in front of me. I've said it a number of times, having the camera in my bedroom feels a little bit invasive. Oh, oil slick left. Who else do we got here? Who's got Daytona? GT3 at Daytona. Let's see who this is. If I should decide to stay here, I'm going back to my trusty Corvette. I just see what we got here for different. If this Corvette was solid red and black, I would like that. This looks like some color blast stuff. I mean, this is too common. I mean, I think it's the best one, but it's really, really common. So guess I'll be a little bit different. Ben Judah? Yeah. Nah, he already started it. I don't want to do a race with only two of us in here, especially if he decides to quit. Who's this in the spa? What's he got? Crossplay on, damage on. Oh shit, he's starting this thing already with only three of us in here. Jeez. It's either feast or famine. Oil Slick was the only one who did it right. He had 10 people in there and he started it. Every first guy was trying to either he was asleep at the wheel or trying to wait for the room to fill up. And these last two ones, we don't got enough people in there, but yet they want to go ahead and start it anyway. This is a 10-lap race too. I think he should have waited for some more people to show up. But then again, given how scarce this game is, I don't know. When I get done with this stream, tonight is movie night. I am going to watch the F1 the movie. Went to the theaters to see it with my son. And yeah, the movie's a little over the top, but I love it. All right, let's go ahead and back out of here. And I guess we'll do a couple of laps so we can check out what update 1.6 is all about. Way race weekend. LMDH. Oh, by the way, folks, unfortunately, Alpine, it looks like 2026 is going to be their last season in the WEC. It looks like they'll be pulling out, so that's really unfortunate. We're going to lose them. We already lost Porsche, but we'll be gaining 3. So we get the Hyundai Genesis this year, and both Ford and McLaren are bringing out hypercars in 2027. But yeah, it would really be nice. I forgot Lamborghini's also pulled out, but with Lamborghini, I guess they said they're willing to stay if they get the right partners. So what I'm taking from that is they're probably looking for a privateer to eat up all the costs. And they're just basically using the Lamborghini name. But for this race, well, I'm doing a few laps. But I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Peugeot. Because of Le Mans Ultimate, between Le Mans Ultimate and Automobilista 2 and even some Forza, I've driven the Cadillac more times than I can count. Because with the Cadillac, as far as the front end goes, I think the Cadillac is one of the better looking cars, but something about that back end just don't fly with me. Something about this back end, I'm just not really feeling it that much. I personally think that even though this hypercar here, the Toyota GR10 hybrid, it's been around for a few years, but I still think it's one of the better looking hypercars. When the Porsche first came out, I thought it was an ugly hypercar. When Lamborghini joined, I just got used to the way hypercars look because you could make a case right here. This Valkyrie is a pretty slick looking hypercar. It's Acura. With hypercars, I really like. I definitely admire the engineering that goes into a hypercar, because we're talking about a car that's been designed to go over 200 miles an hour for hours and hours and hours, 24 hours. Some parts of hypercars I like, some parts I don't like the way they look. I think GT3s and GTEs are the best looking road cars. But as far as hypercar goes, I like the front end of this Alpine. The back end kind of has a fish look to it. Again, this Valkyrie is an interesting looking hypercar. I like it. Also like the BMW hypercar. Again, with the Cadillac, I think it's got one of the better looking front ends, but something about the back, something is just, I don't know what it is. The Lamborghini is just kind of just there. I think this Peugeot is an interesting looking car. I think a case could be made that the Peugeot might be one of the better looking hypercars out there. But the one thing I really don't like about this Peugeot is this weird looking fin on the top. It looks more like looks more like a fin that you would find on an electric eel or something. But I am going to go with this car for the few laps that we'll do. What's a good track? Cause I want to feel like I'm in the WEC. So let's do Kyalami. I'm sorry. Imola. I used to call it Imola, but some of my UK friends corrected me and said it's Imola. So Imola. We'll skip right past the practice and the qualifying and get straight to the race. They're going to have me starting from the back anyway because I won't qualify. And so from the back, I can feel the car out and see if it's hard to drive or not.
We're at the back, mate. Didn't set a time.
Oh, you know what? Put some soft tires on here too. Set up mid downforce. Let's go. Don't seem to be skipping with this hypercar. Oh my God. The driver's actually got to see over those fins? Yay. Did skip, I think. I would have preferred to stay in the cockpit, but I just couldn't see over those fins. Get back to position, how? They went off the track, not me. Looks like the AI still might be a little bit brain dead. honestly, driving that car felt a lot like driving the car on Forza. Up here at 0 degrees, there's a lot of resistance, but once you turn the wheel so far, some of the force feedback drops off, and I don't know. Yeah, let's go back and check the community lobbies. Oh God. Check rank, even though it's probably nothing there either. Nope, nada. That GT3 Sprint, 13 laps at Monza, that would have been a good race. It would have been a little bit longer than your normal 20-minute sprint race, but not quite an endurance race. All right, let's do one or two more single player races. And go back to the good old GT3s. And get back to my trusty Corvette.
At Greatentrim 523 said, "How is the new page?"
Patch.
At Greatentrim 523 said, "Talk." At Greatentrim 523 said, "I can't type."
Honestly, I'm not a good person to ask about the patch because...
At Greatentrim 523 said, "LOL."
Yeah, I got you. I'm not a good person to ask because when it comes to this game, or any game for that matter, I prefer the GT3s and the GTEs. So I don't have a lot of hours driving hypercars. The only thing I can tell you about that race that I just did with that Peugeot hypercar is that the force feedback felt like I was driving. It felt like I was playing Forza Motorsports, to tell you the truth, because for the longest, I struggled with the force feedback of that game, where right at the center, the force feedback was pretty stiff. But once you turn the wheel to the left or to the right, the force feedback drops off. So you go from like this to like damn near over cranking the wheel. So it was a struggle not to oversteer that car. I think that's just the nature of the physics of this game, because even with the GT3s, when I did that earlier race in the custom lobby with the Porsche, it was pretty easy to oversteer the car because the back was so unstable. But I think the physics in this game, the physics is rooted in the engine. So I think no matter how much they tweak it, some of these cars are still going to be slidey, loose, going to have a loose rear end. And look no further, in my opinion, than Automobile List 2 is proof of that, because no matter how much they tweak the physics of the game, the cars are still slidey and still kind of floaty. And I can only assume that that's just rooted in the engine. That's what the engine produced.
At Greatentrim 523 said, "Do you think this is an evolution to Cars 2/AMS2?
Well, when the game... Well, once it was learned that Ian Bell was the head of this project, the head of the studio, which is where he came from, was Project Cars 2, whatever the case may be. A lot of people felt like this game was going to be a cross between Project Cars 2 and Automobile List 2. I haven't tested a lot of cars, so my thoughts on the physics of this game, I can't say it across the board. I can only say it for the cars that I've been using. And in GT3, I put the most time in with this Corvette. You know, I've dabbled around with the other cars, but the Corvette is the only one that kind of suited me. The other ones that I used, again, they felt loose and like prone to severe oversteer. But I guess this game is just like any other game. No matter how I feel about the physics, if I want to continue to play the game, I'm just gonna have to learn to adapt. So, but one thing that will help my case again would be the VR. Once this game gets VR support, I will definitely be able to drive faster, and I will be able to control the car more because I can see and feel the car coming loose.
Didn't set a time, so we'll be at the back.
You know, even though I'm playing this on a 65-inch TV, it's still about 6 feet away from me, and I'm just so used to racing in VR and being inside the car. Perception of depth, being able to see the corner, almost like in true perception, true depth. Damn, I forgot to put soft tires on the car.
At Greatentrum 523 said, no VR yet. Yeah, that is important.
Yeah,
I still love cars too.
Originally, I wasn't going to buy this game at launch because it didn't have VR. I want the AI to take me out, so I had to let him go. Well, the gears isn't skipping now, but it was skipping in that Porsche.
At Greatentrum 523 said, so, you trust it is coming. VR is so important for racing.
Absolutely.
I hope they are people of their word.
These days, if you make a racing game without the VR, as far as I'm concerned, I almost feel like you shouldn't even ship it.
At Greatentrum 523 said, Amen. At Greatentrum 523 said, I just got an ad. Ads during streaming?
1 second, I'll have to double check that comment. Oh, you got an ad? Oh, I'm sorry. That's on me. Forgot to turn them off. Was that? Oh shit! This is about to happen again! I'm about to kiss the wall! Ah!
To go.
At Greatentrum 523 said, do you ever race with your son?
Nah, he's not really into sim racing. I mean, I had him try it a couple of times, but it's just not him. He loves Gears of War. Corvette is
Points on the board.
Corvette is so much fun to drive. So what did I do? I just did a best lap 201.6. The best lap I believe I did here on Project Motor Racing, this track, this car, was I believe a 159. Like me and that Corvette, we deserve to be together. No doubt in my mind that once this game gets VR support, I do believe I can get into the 158s on Sebring. So yeah, the GT3s, the Corvette, that's my car. The other games like Le Mans Ultimate, I use the Corvette because I like rooting for the underdog. You know, it started out as a joke, you know, me making jokes and calling American cars junk, yada, yada, yada. But after a while, you know, the Corvette just became my car. On Automobilista 2, Le Mans Ultimate. What other game has the C8 Corvette? R Factor 2. Now this Corvette here, this Z06, I would love to see it come to. I would love to see it come to GT7. Because the bottom line is GT7, they kind of pulled the wool over our eyes, bringing out a brand new game with all those old ass cars still on there. When they should have gave us all the updated GT3 cars. They know the landscape. They know that the GT3 class is the most popular class of all of racing. And they gave us all those old ass cars, you know, and now they just now getting around to giving us the Porsche 992, a car that's been around for a couple of years. I mean, GT7 should have launched with the entire updated lineup of GT3 cars. They got so much catching up to do. But at least they got two of the cars. They got the Ferrari 296 and the Porsche 992, which I'm not going to lie, on GT7, that Porsche is really fun to drive. It is my preferred car now on GT7. For the longest, I was using the Ford GT, which I still love it. And I was using the Honda NSX, which is a good all-around car, and the McLaren 650. But yeah, that 992 on GT7, that's taken over as my GT3. I love that car. But yeah, to finish out what I was going to say about GT7, they need to catch up and give us all the updated GT3 cars, especially since I believe that we may not see GT8 till probably if I had to make a guess, we probably won't see GT8 until 2029, 2030, especially with the rumor going around that we may not see the PlayStation 6 until 2028 at the earliest. And the Gran Turismo franchise usually launches a year or two after the console comes out. Now, if I'm not mistaken, if memory serves me correct, I think the PS5 came out in November of 2020, and I think GT7 came out about a year and a half later, in February of 2022, and then it got VR support the next year in February 2023. So point being is those two cars, all of the GT3s, all the current GT3s, they all should have been there on GT7 right from the word go. With a $1 billion company like Sony backing up Polyphony Digital, the amount of money they had to spend for licenses should have been nothing. It should have been a drop in the bucket compared to how much that game sells. So, and since I believe the GT8 won't come along until 2029 or 2030, in my opinion, that still gives like another couple of years of use out of GT7. So in my opinion, there ain't no excuse for them to catch up with the GT3s and deliver the current GT3s. So all that being said, at the very least, I want them to give us the Corvette Z06 and the
At
BMW
Greatentrum
M4.
523 said, I still had the PS4 Pro for a while with GT7. I was so happy to get to play it on my PS5.
You know something, you know, my PS4 Pro, my son has it. But I'm curious, you know, being that when GT7 was first about to launch, it was supposed to be a PS5 only game, but because of the virus, because of COVID, I guess they anticipated low sales, so they made GT7 a cross-gen game. My reason for bringing all that up is we know the GT7 runs at 60 frames per second, and I think in some cases it even runs at 120 frames per second on the PS5 and the PS5 Pro. I'm curious if the PS4 Pro runs at least 60 frames per second, or does it run at 30 frames per second? Because with the PS4, well, we know that like the PS4 Pro was capable of running a lot of games at 60 frames per second, but Sony mandated parity. So if you made a game that run 30 frames per second on the PS4, it had to run at 30 frames per second on the PS4 Pro. All that being said, I wonder how many frames per second, how GT7 runs on the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. I would like to think that it should be able to run at least 60 frames per second. Because, like, that's going to be a lot of wonky shit when you got a PS4 running at 30 frames per second, a PS4 Pro running at 30 or 60 frames per second, the PS5 running at 60 and 120 frames per second. That's a lot of wacky shit going on online.
At Greatentrum 523 said, the PS4 and Pro both ran it at 60 FPS, but they varied in graphics quality.
Oh, I could see that. Damn, he's using the Corvette too, but this is multi-class. But I don't have the patience. I think I'm going to do one more single player race and get ready to hang it up and get ready for movie night, and so I can watch F1 the movie for a second time. We already know it's not going to be anybody there. Wait a minute. Did I make it in time?
At Greatentrum 523 said, the PS5 does 60 FPS with quality mode and 120 FPS in frame priority mode.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Honestly, you know, I do think that the overall, I think the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are two amazing consoles because they're capable of running a lot of games at 60 and even 120 frames per second. My biggest problem is the paywall that you need PlayStation Plus in order to play online, and with the Xbox, you need Xbox Game Pass Essentials, formerly Xbox Live, in order to race online. And I have not had Game Pass Essentials or Xbox Live. I haven't done that in about a year. It makes no sense for me to pay to play online when I got PCs. Same thing with PlayStation Plus. The only reason why I even kept it was for GT7, but I had become seriously disappointed with GT7, with the dirty driving and shit like that was going on. And so my PlayStation Plus membership has run out, and I don't have any plans to renew it in the immediate future, if at all. Let's go with the mid-down force. All right, We are in a rank race. Let's get out here and get some laps in. Let's see if we can go out with a bang.
At GreatenTrim523 said, now, to get 120 FPS on PS5 you must run it at 1080p, but the Pro can do 120 FPS at quality mode without ray tracing. PS5 with VRR gets about 80 to 90 FPS range with quality mode.
That sounds about right, because like we all know ray tracing is demanding. And then, you know, I with the ray tracing on the PS5 and the Series X, you know, I kind of heard different people. Here we go again. But I've seen different people say stuff about the quality of the ray tracing on the consoles. That it's like not true. Oh, what an idiot. Go ahead. Yeah, we got gears skipping again. Oh, that's what it is. Online, that's because it didn't happen during the single races. So this is an online problem.
On the clock, mate. Full send this lap.
Damn it! Skip the gear. And I tried to flick it again.
5 minutes to the end.
Car act like it's bogging down too. Damn it! Got skip gear again.
At GreatenTrim523 said, how optimized is this game? It does not look that much better than Cars 2 does.
There's a couple of things to consider. to skip the gear again. Oh, God. For one thing, I'm running this game at 1080p. I chose to run it at 1080p so I would have the extra overhead because OBS, the broadcasting software, that takes up a chunk of your GPU as well. So I wanted to make sure I had the overhead to run this game good. Right now, the frame counter is showing 167 frames per second. Oh, Christ. Sick of those skip gears. Look at this.
Session ends in 1 minute.
It skipped all the way from 1 to 6. Like here, look, I'll show you right here. Okay,
At Greatentrim 523 said, "That is good."
All right, so you guys see my right hand right here. I'm going to put it right there on the paddle shifter. Look at the neutral and watch it skip all the way to 6. And you're only going to see my hand move once. 1 to 6. That is a backbreaker right there where I'm in second gear trying to go into third, and it skips from second to fourth, from second to fifth. This is a network issue because it wasn't doing it when I was doing the single player races. When we did that first race at Bathurst, and I was using the Porsche, I thought, well, maybe it's just a problem with the Porsche. But now that I stop and think about it, that was an online race in a custom lobby. So yeah, they've got an issue with online races with the cars skipping gears, so they need to fix that.
At Greatentrim 523 said, "I got an ad right when you showed the gears."
Okay, I'll show you again. Oh, it won't let me drive, so but I just flicked the gears once to go up to the next gear. So I'm trying to go from second to third, but instead it'll go from second to fifth. Sorry about the ads again,
At
folks.
Greatentrim 523 said, "That makes it unplayable."
Yeah, because I'm losing a lot of time when I skip from second gear to fifth. It bogs the car down. Apologies once again about the ads. Honestly speaking, when Project Motor Racing first launched, my channel was seeing views like I never saw before. One of my streams got 2,200 views, and as far as a racing stream goes, I've never woke up and saw that many views the next day. And as far as live viewers, I think at one point I had about 50 viewers. And honestly speaking, surprisingly, even though there's nobody really playing this game, we got 28
At
people here
Greatentrim
watching, and I'm still
523
surprised to see that.
said, "Will it work if you go automatic for now?"
I never thought about that. I'll have to do that next time. I mean, this race is about to start, so I'm already locked in. Now, I really don't have an option to go into the menu and switch it. I mean, Let's see. Graphic setting, audio assist, auto clutch authentic. Force on authentic, auto cut blip, traction control. Force on authentic. Downshift protect. Transmission, there we go, manual. There we go. Let's put it on automatic. Let's see what happens. It can't get any worse than what it is. Hey, good call. Good call, Tantrum. It's going to be weird driving an automatic, but hey, what do we got to lose? We're waiting for players to grid. What are we waiting for? And that idiot tried to clip me. I knew it was going to happen. It's still shifting gears kind of early, but at least it's still staying in sequence.
At Greatentrum 523 said, "Hey, no gear skips LOL."
Yeah, but it's still shifting it's kind of short shifting. But I'm locked in, so it is what it is.
At Greatentrum 523 said, "I see it."
I got the fastest first sector. taking over the downshifting myself, though.
At Greatentrim 523 said, that bug needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
I hope next release it will be addressed.
Yeah, but that's been there for a while, because the last time I streamed Project Motor Racing, in particular, from here, I was having those problems. I don't have it on my Logitech wheelbase. So I think I'll chalk this up as a compatibility issue between the game and this particular Fanatec wheelbase. I did hit a 149.9, but if I was in, I think I've done a 148 on here before. I was scared he was going to take me out. I just lost a bunch of time.
At Greatentrim 523 said, looks like many players here are console gamers.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that.
At Anthony Barham I6B said, I think it's wheelbase issue, run Simulcube 2 with no issues skipping gears.
I'll have to come back and check that in a second. I got my eyes glued on the track.
At Greatentrim 523 said, well, if he is not having this issue on any other sim.
No, I'm not.
At GreatenTrim523 said, I will see you around.
Hey, thanks
Good
for
luck
popping
on the
in.
race.
Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Woo!
No marker ahead in the fight for position. Just get past them as soon as you can.
What the fuck was that? The car just stopped right in front of me, then reappeared again, stuck on the track again. Disconnected from host. Oh, God. Oh, my Christ. That was a rank race. So that I don't think that was a case of somebody being the host and they decided to leave. That was the server crashing.
At Oaksit said that, my friend, was lag.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they made it count. Okay, so Anthony says I think it's a wheelbase issue. Run SimiCube 2 with no issue skipping gears. I think it could be a compatibility issue between the game and the Fanatec and this Fanatec wheelbase, but I don't think my wheelbase is faulty. I think it's just a compatibility issue because this doesn't happen on any of my other racing games, just this one, and it only happened in the online races. It doesn't happen. It wasn't happening in the single player races. So, I mean, I'll do a lap or two and show you in the single player races, show you that it's not happening. So I think it's a network issue and probably combined with a compatibility issue with my wheelbase, because my other wheelbase, the Logitech wheelbase, it doesn't happen on that. So before we had that lag issue right there, I was within striking distance of third. And so my fastest lap up to that point was a 149.4. I have gotten into the 148s before, but again, I make my case that once.
At Anthony Borrow my 6B said, Fanatec gear skipping in project motor racing or project cars is often caused by incorrect input mapping, active downshift protection, or hardware calibration issues.
Well,
to fix, verify map sequential SH.
Okay. Is that something you could do in the menus, or if that's something you have to go into the files to do? Because I don't have a problem with downshifting, this upshifting that it was skipping gears. So yeah, my lap time, I did a 149.4. I've gotten into the 148s before, and there's I feel pretty good about my chances of getting into the 147s once this game gets VR support. Because again, I'm faster in VR. Let me put the softs on here because I just can't get enough. Other soft tires, just can't get enough. All right, let's see if it skips. Nope. So let's see what happens when I get out of the pits.
Clear.
Oh, I forgot. I'm in automatic. I gotta set it back to manual. Assist. Transmission. All right. Let's see what happens now. Nope. See, it's not skipping gears here. It only did it in the online races. Yeah, we golden here. Oh yeah. What the? Just got some kind of crazy notification that froze the game for a second. Let me check something. Yeah, it would still appear to be live. I don't know what the hell that was. In any case, let's carry on. Let's go Voltron Force. Oh, my wheelbase just disconnected. That's what the hell that noise was. Yeah, the wheel's it's not shifting. Yeah, the wheel's not working at all. All right.
5 minutes to the end.
Nothing's working. Now it wants to work. That curb tried to pull my car off the road. So.
At Neocrypt Gaming said, "What's the new GT3 ranked?"
Give me a second. got the fastest second sector. That was a tense lap, but it was a good one. What's the new GT3 ranked? I kind of don't know how to answer that question because I really don't know how you're asking the question because I play a variety of racing games. So I don't know if you're asking me how's the GT3 ranked versus other games or how's the GT3 ranked like versus any previous updates or anything like that. The best thing that I can tell you about the GT3s is the Corvette is my preferred car in the GT3 class. But I do like the lineup of GT3s they have in this game. They don't have all the GT3s, you know, because some of those cars race in the WEC, and I don't know if it's a licensing issue because they're definitely missing a few cars. They're missing the Ferrari 296. GT3, they're missing the McLaren, and they're missing the Lexus. I don't know if I wasn't even paying attention if the Nissan GTR is in here. A little bit. Okay. I'll skip this one.
Didn't post a lap time, so we'll be starting from the back.
It's only a 5-lap race, so let's do it. And if you would be so kind, folks, to hit the like button, I would definitely appreciate it. And shout out to my friends Gesture, Boris, and
at Brownhound6917 said, general impressions versus GT or AC. You amici gander? I see that Sparty cap.
Yeah, I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And as far as compared to ACC, like some of these GT3s in this game, like for some of them are way too loose, and it's very easy to oversteer the cars and lose them. I have to honestly say, like this Corvette, I love this Corvette in this game. So if you want me to put this Corvette against, you know, the GT3s of other racing games, I love it. But as far as the entire GT3 class goes, yeah, some of these cars are loose. They will snap on you in a second. That being said, the entire GT3 class, if you're racing on soft tires, I hate to say it, GT7, they're probably the easiest ones to drive, because that game's considered a simcade, and it's really easy to drive those cars on GT7 with soft tires. You can make mistakes, and it's not too hard to recover. ACC, I haven't put in any serious time in ACC in a long time, but when I was at my peak on ACC a few years ago, I thought they had the best GT3s. So in terms of the easiest ones to drive, between the ones that you just mentioned, I would have to say GT7, as far as the entire GT3 class goes. Now, if you want to go with individual cars, it would probably be subjective. Based on some of the skipping around that I've been doing on all the racing games,
Brownhound 6917 said, over near Detroit here. Had my eye on it for a while to see where it goes. Feel like there's potential.
Hey, if you want to take a chance and get this game with minimal damage, there's a site called loaded.com where they sell keys at discounted prices. I've bought 4 keys from there for Project Motor Racing. I sent one of them to my teammate. I sent one of them to my racing teammate, and then I gave the other ones.
6917 said, appreciate the thoughtful answer.
No problem. So what I was going to say about Loaded is it's one of those like CD keys type sites, and you know what? I'm going to show it to you so you can see it with your own eyes.
At Vic H8X said, I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan and work in Grand Rapids.
Oh, I haven't been to Kalamazoo in like 20 years. But way back in my days, I would make the trip from Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo because I liked the clubs that they had back then.
At Brownhound 6917 said, I know that site, but show it.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you real quick right here with the Project Motor Racing and the Loaded website that I was telling you about. So right here, this is Loaded, loaded.com, place where you can buy keys.
At Brownhound 6917 said, neither has Elvis.
I got you. So look at here. You can, if you buy the Giants key, right there, $11. It's a legit key too, because like I said, I bought about 4 keys from there, and 3 of them were confirmed to work. I gave away some keys on one of my streams before, and I think a bot got a hold of the first key. But after that, every key that I gave away, somebody was like, yeah, I was able to redeem the code. So this is $11. That's not much to take a chance. So this is the straightforward key. This isn't a this is a Giants key. This isn't a Steam key. So you but it comes with instructions how to activate it. You know, activate with Giants. Click on the link to go to to download the Giants portal. So it looks to me like right here, you download, you put the key in here and then download it. And there it is. You know what? So yeah, 11 bucks. For the Giants key. So yeah, it looks like you go to right here, you go to eshop.giants.
At Brownhound6917 said, "That's cheap, but I'm on PS5."
Oh, they haven't dropped that price yet on PS5 because I bought it for PS5 and I paid the full $70 for it. Yeah, that part right there is unfortunate. All right, let's get back to some racing. I mean, PS5 is cool, but I think if you got a PS5 and you got a PC, you're covered across the bases. You'll be able to play anything you want. All right, let's do a few laps. Do this 5-lap race. So, I still think this is a fun game. I still like it. You know, you got the PS5 version of this. Hold on.
Focus on the lights.
Okay. So
At Vic H8X said, Rensport dropped their prices.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because, like, I think that game was fighting an uphill battle anyway. It was in early access for God knows how long. And then I heard there was problems with the crossplay. And Rensport, they actually shafted me, so I don't really have a problem with the prices being dropped. They did some really shady shit. When the game first came out, Rensport, they said that the VR would come along when the game launches. So I'm like, okay, fine. So whenever they come out of early access, then we'll get the VR. I'm fine with that because I saw that as transparency. Well, it turns out that they're getting ready to come out with some DLC. And they came out with the Nordschleife DLC along with a few liveries. And I paid like $45 for that DLC. The reason why I bought that DLC was because they activated the VR right before that DLC went live. And then the DLC went live. I did it in VR and it looked like dog shit. If you look through my catalog and just type in Rensport, you'll find it because I've done a few streams on Rensport. And then a couple of weeks after that DLC was released, they shut the VR off and basically said it wasn't ready. So what they did was they knew people like me was not going to buy that DLC because I race in VR. So some of these games, I simply won't buy them unless it's got VR support. So they turned on the VR support long enough to get our money for that DLC, and then they turned it back off. That was some really shady shit what they did. Now, in the case of Project Motor Racing, the VR was supposed to be ready at start, along with triple screen support. Well, shortly before the game launches, they said it won't be ready. It'll come at a later date. I said, okay, fine. I'll buy it when we get the VR support. But they did something that was like an offer I couldn't refuse. As a pre-order bonus, they gave you the entire GTE class. They gave you 6 GTE cars.
At Vic H8X said, yeah, they already CANC.
So yeah, I don't, whatever's happening with Rensport, I don't feel sorry, because I thought that was a really slimy move, activating the VR long enough to get our money for that DLC and then shutting the shit off. And then every time I try to go and use the every time I try to go back to Rensport at the Epic Store and use the VR, it's broken. The menu is not fully in view. It's off into the corner, and you can only see a piece of it, so you can't navigate through. And then the few times that I was able to go on track, it was like an over the top view, and I couldn't recenter the VR so I could be inside the car. So the VR is just completely broken. So that's definitely a game that I will not pay for full price for. All right, let's go. I had to get back that time, holy moly. And now I'm dead last. After all that work.
At Adrenaluquity said, "Are these physics more realistic than Race Room?"
Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Give me a minute to try to come up with an answer for that. Oh my God, overshot my mark. Come on, car, get out of the way. I'm trying to get away from them because they will ram you.
Last lap, mate.
Like that. Idiot. So yeah, as you can see, the AI is still a little bit stuck on stupid at times. Damn, I fought hard for that last place.
Those guys were on another level.
Okay, so
Definitely
adrenaline.
wake up call, so we'll do more preparation
Are these
for the next
physics
race.
more realistic than race room? Damn. I say that because race room definitely has some unique physics. With race room, when you find yourself in a situation where you drop the car all the way down the first gear, it's damn near like a creeper gear. It's almost like first gear is almost like an engine brake, slowing the car down. So some of those like super tight hairpin corners where you should be going down in the first gear, with race room, that feels like it slows the car down. And so if you go through those corners in first gear, in those super tight corners, you either have to keep the RPMs up to get a good exit, or you go through that corner in second gear, and now the car's a little more loose and stands a higher chance of snapping loose with oversteer trying to come out of the corner, or even understeering into the corner. So is it more realistic than race room? I mean, I never raced before in my life, but I guess between driving the cars in this game and driving the cars in race room, I think it's a little bit easier to spin out on this game. That's probably the best way I can say it. I think it's a little bit easier to spin the cars out on Project Motor Racing versus race room. But hey, I like them both. Well, we'll take one more look and see if there's anybody in the custom lobby. If not, then I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Damn, we've been live for almost 3 hours. No? Well, so I'll go ahead and wrap it up, but I'll say this. I cannot thank you all enough, because as you can see, this lobby is empty. There's nobody here. And I've been away from Project Motor Racing for a while because most of it had to do with health issues. I was dealing with a swollen lymph node right under my jaw, and long story short, it had swollen so big it was damn near the size of a walnut up under my chin. So I got a little bit worried that it could possibly be a tumor, a mass, cancer, whatever the case may be. So I went to the doctor for that, and they just said, you should be fine. It should go down.
This is Jester. Said. Gonna share your stream on some decent sized discords. Got people wanting into mine, but I'm having to password protect mine ATM cause of trolls.
I'm gonna share your stream on some decent. Okay. Appreciate it, Jester. So we got Jester in the house, a friend of mine. As I was saying, I mentioned
this is Jester. Said. Hope you're enjoying the update. Hit me up on Discord if you want into our lobby.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to hit you up on Discord. The reason being is because my PlayStation Plus membership ran out. So I cannot play the PS5 version online unless I renew it. And at the moment, I have no plans in the immediate future to renew my PlayStation Plus membership. So if I want to race online, I'd have to do it on PC. And right now we have no other way of contacting each other. So yeah, definitely. I'll definitely join your Discord. So before taking off, folks, I want to finish saying that there's nobody here, and I was gone because of a health issue. I had a lymph node about the size of a walnut under my chin. as the swelling for that started to go down, I started having an issue with an enlarged thyroid that I had and chest discomfort. So they took a sample of the thyroid. It's non-cancerous. They just said as long as it's not causing me any discomfort, they said I'll be fine. Just come back and check once a year and keep an eye on it. And then as far as the chest discomfort goes, I had been wearing a heart monitor for the past week. I got to send that in. But I mean, the day before I got the heart monitor, I was hooked up to a machine and they said my heart rhythms were normal. So going through all this stuff, I'm 58 years old. So I'm at that age where, you know, things don't feel right at times. So because of health issues, I was gone from Project Motor Racing. And at the time that I was going through these health issues, the user base on Project Motor Racing started to decline. And the streamers, the amount of people streaming Project Motor Racing was going down. It was to the point where the only people who was streaming it was Jester, Boris, and Metz. And it honestly made me look like I abandoned the game, which I didn't. I was dealing with those health issues. And then, you know, once I started seeing light at the end of the tunnel with these health issues and was ready to come back and start streaming Project Motor Racing again, I come back and now I see this empty lobbies. And I'm sitting here telling myself I'm not going to go live because I know people don't want to see a bunch of, you know, streaming single player races and there's nobody in the lobbies. So honestly, tonight I was a little bit concerned that I go live and it was only going to be like 2 people watching or something because the user base dried up on this game, unfortunately. But I'm pleasantly surprised. At one point, there were 30 of you in here. Definitely appreciate it. Pleasantly surprised. So no, I have not abandoned Project Motor Racing. I'm still with it. I still enjoy the game. I still like it. And I'm definitely still looking forward to the VR because you definitely going to get a good dose of the VR once we get the VR. I'll do both.
At Matthew I10I said, hope these health issues are okay, bud.
I've been feeling much better lately. Thank you so much. As far as the chest discomfort, as far as what I was experiencing there, I thought it might be connected to my thyroid issue because an enlarged thyroid can cause breathing and swallowing issues, and it can also cause heart discomfort. So I thought that might have been what it was, but yeah, I'm cancer free. I don't have cancer of the thyroid. The swollen lymph node has gone down to the part where it's almost normal size again. Whereas again, it was almost the size of a walnut. My diabetes is under control. You know, my blood sugar is under control. My high blood pressure is under control. So these couple of things that I was going through, that's what I had to deal with. So, hopefully I'll be around for a while because I'm feeling much, much better these days. So, thank you so much. With that, I'm going to go ahead and boogie on out of here. I'm going to grab a bite to eat, and then I'm going to watch F1 the movie so I can see Sonny Hayes do his thing. Love that movie. Like I said, a little over the top, but I still love that movie. Thanks again, everybody. Tomorrow is Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to go live or not tomorrow. And if I do, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it'll be Project Motor Racing again or LMU, whatever the case may be. We'll just have to play it by ear, see what happens. And till then.
At Matthew I10I said, I am new here and got recommended from Jester, but I am glad everything is okay.
Definitely appreciate it. And I appreciate the plug from Jester. I appreciate Jester sending you my way. He's a good guy. And I think I found Jester's channel about, I don't know, about 6-8 months ago, because I had some frustrations with GT7. There were some things about that game where I just did not like the way they were moving. I didn't like that shark card type economy, where you buy in-game credits and it never matches 1-to-1. You buy some in-game credits for 750,000 credits, but a particular car you want costs 1 million credits. So now you got to buy the 5 million credits in order to have enough credits to buy that 1 million credit car. So I thought that was some bullshit. I thought that was some greedy monetization shit by Sony and Polyphony Digital. And when I found Jester's channel, he was talking about a number of things that was frustrating him about GT7. I was like, I feel this guy. I get this guy. And so I was watching this channel for a while. But then when Project Motor Racing came out, and he was being brutally honest, like, I love this game. Yeah, I know it's got problems, yada, yada, yada. And that did it right there for me. I said, click, let me sub to this guy. So Jester's a good guy. Definitely like his content. Also, check out Boris too. Just Boris. He's another friend, like me, Boris, Jester, Mets. We all know each other. We're all cool. So definitely check them out too. So with that, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'm going to boogie on out of here. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, you all know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king, and deuces. Have a good one, everybody. We will see you soon.